Hi guys, my name is Alyssa and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the 2020 prediction. Are we talking about a 2020 prediction or am I predicting for you today? I'm going to be predicting for you today. So, congratulations everybody. 2020 is about the divine feminine. It is 2 being feminine and 0 being basically the fool's journey. We are getting the female freeing women and other people who are being enslaved. She's taking them out of captivity. How is she doing this? Well, she's showing her true power because the Capricorn Pluto Saturn conjunction is all about the diamond in the rough. So a lot of people have been very afraid of this Pluto Saturn conjunction, and that's because these people are probably going to be really hurt by it. But if you've been working hard, if you've been just doing a lot of work for a lot of other people, you've been creating things from your heart and other people have been ripping you off, you've been trying your damnedest to get your life in order and people just keep attacking you, this is your year. This is the beginning of your year. This is going to be your decade. This is gonna be that moment where you're finally free to really move forward. You're not going to be climbing out of a fucking valley anymore. You're going to be actually using your muscles to climb up the mountain that other people have been able to climb up because they stand on your shoulders, they stand on your back, keeping you down and propelling themselves up. This is a very big year for that. When you think about Pluto and Saturn together, you have to think about Pluto being control and power, total domination, and Saturn being authority, but also time. So if you put power and time together, what do you get? You get a diamond, right? So a lot of people feel that they can just have loopholes, right? You can get from point A to point Z by standing on the backs of others, not working that hard, putting out sloppy content or sloppy work, using other people to get you ahead, plowing through people, men and women, to get what you want. You think you can just do that. You also think maybe you can just wish it to happen. You know, if you just do a special spell or law of attraction, you can all of a sudden gain this power that you never worked for. And the truth is that that's not how power works. Power will have to be taken from somebody else who's actually worked for it to get to you, because power can only happen with time and work. You can't just snap power into existence. You have to take it from somewhere. So if you are siphoning somebody else's power, this is going to be a really bad sign when Saturn and Pluto conjunct on January 12th, right after the lunar eclipse on January 10th. Okay, so the lunar eclipse is going to be January 10th. This has to do with the completion of the cycle that started July 2nd back in 2019, this last year. This is a 6-month cycle. This is going to complete that. Now, that solar eclipse was all about water, Cancer. It was about going underneath the water to find and destroy all your demons and to rise when the time was come. January 10th will be a lot of rising of those who chose to destroy their demons. Now, for anyone who wanted to wade over the water this last year, who didn't want to deal with that, who just wanted to be sensitive, basically, and not actually find your power in the sign of Cancer, it's going to be pretty difficult when Capricorn comes into play. It's going to say, wow, you don't really have any power. You don't really have any ability. You don't really have anything. You've just been sort of ripping off other people hoping that it works. And it has worked. Probably for thousands of years it's worked. But they didn't expect 2020 to happen, right? You know, there's always a time limit on evil deeds. And even if this one's felt like way too long in the making, it's happening. It's happening beginning 2020. So let's look into 2020 for a second. 2 is the feminine number. It's intuition. It's basically the strength of the woman, the divine feminine, the Holy Spirit. It is the spirit of life. It is what this year is about. Now 0 is the Fool, so it's the Fool's journey. So you imagine that we can also look at 0 as like anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. So you might actually look at this and be like, okay, anything can happen. That means if you've wished it for so long, it can just happen. That's not true. It just means that be prepared for anything to happen. And if you have been working on it for years, you've actually been putting in the hard work, either on yourself or in your projects, they will come into fruition this year. And anyone who's just kind of been laying in bed, having dreams and wishing it would come true, it's not going to happen for you. It just won't. This is not the energy for you, because that would be more like one energy. You're trying to be the magician, but really you got to be the high priestess. You have to be wise and in control of your own self, not trying to power up or dominate another person to get ahead. So this is going to be a very scary year for a lot of people. So what do I mean when I say that this is the year of the woman? I mean, this is the year of the Queen. The Queen is life. The Queen stems from the galactic center. She is the chaos, the primordial deity in Greek mythology called chaos, that stems from the galactic center, which is at 27 degrees Sagittarius right now. Last month, well, in November 2019, we had Venus conjunct Jupiter on the galactic center before the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Now, Jupiter and Venus conjunct once a year, but this time on the galactic center, it meant that something was coming. This is a huge sign for what's to come ahead. It doesn't mean that it would come right then, that this is what's gonna happen right away. It just means that look ahead, there's blessings ahead. On the galactic center, the spirit, the divine feminine, is coming. When is she coming? Well, 2020 looks like a great portal for her to jump through because of the two. All of these things are correlated. Numerology, astrology, tarot, everything is there. They're all signs. So when I have this up here for you guys, what is this? The triple goddess, okay? We have one, the symbol, the pentagram for Venus, who is divine feminine. We have the moon and the other moon. This is the maiden, the mother, and the crone. The maiden, the mother, and the crone all together create all life. This is life. And life experiences pain, hardships, and growth. We all want the crown, but no one wants to put in the work. We all want to jump ahead. And social media has allowed that to happen. It's so easy to just put yourself out there. You don't have to work for it. You can take from people. You can call it inspired by people. You can call it sharing knowledge, but in reality, a lot of people are out in the world right now copycatting shit because they just want to be famous. They just want power, but they don't want to put the effort in. This is about effort. Divine effort that makes life progress. We don't want to be cavemen anymore. We don't have to be. We don't have to have a standstill. The world doesn't have to end. The earth does not have to die. As long as people work hard, care about themselves and the people that they love, everything will be okay. And that's what 2020 represents. But what if you are a horrible human being? Your days are numbered because she's coming back. We got the 2-2. We got the second coming. The second coming is always female. Second is female. This is divine, feminine, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, energy. I'm probably sounding like a crazy person right now, but this is what it is. So if she's coming back and she's going to be here leading the world as the one thing that allows all life to believe in the one thing being the truth. Now, if you follow astrology, because you're watching this, you probably know a little bit about the Emerald Tablet of Thoth or of Hermes. But in the Emerald Tablet, that's where we get as above, so below. That's why astrology works. Astrology works based on archetypal science. It is not about the moon moving the tides and we're made of water, so we move with the moon. That's not what happens. It's not scientifically accurate. We do not get downloads that tell us to move. What happens is that we are archetypes and we move as an archetype, and every single person reacts as an archetype. And there are different things inside of us that move while the universe moves, because the universe is a gigantic brain and we are smaller brains inside of that. So the exact time that you were born, you actually get where your brain connects to the universe, how you see everything. But since we all are connected through that one thing, what is that one thing? It is life, divine life that came from the galactic center, the womb of all creation, to give us life here on Earth, on Gaia. That is who this is. So that's what 2020 is about. Granted, you know what? You might not see an initial change, and that's the thing about astrology. You have to know that everything is a sign of what's to come. And when it comes, you may not even realize until you look behind you and see that it was slowly creeping up this entire time. And that's a really big thing whenever you're looking at any sort of prediction. Granted, transits do affect you in a really strong way sometimes more than others. Sometimes certain transits, like, they hurt or affect certain people more than other people. But for the most part, when we feel something, we feel it deeply. It affects us emotionally and spiritually. And then we move forward with that new knowledge. That's why we have lulls where we go inside of ourselves, heal ourselves, fix ourselves, expand our minds, and then we come out with our knowledge, with our progress. Now, if we're not doing that, that's another thing. That means that we're not connected to our spirit. We're in our flesh. We're worrying. We're anxious. We're having issues. We feel like we have to, manifest and meditate them away all the time. And in reality, if you're living your life to the best of your ability and following the ebbs and the flows of what your spirit wants from you, you will live fine. Now, spirit itself comes from femininity. The spirit is divinely feminine. You can go look that up, okay? It's been lost over time as a lot of feminine identity has been lost, but the spirit belongs to the female. Spirituality is a naturally feminine thing. Women are the spirit. They're the spirituality. They are the womb of creation too. They are made in the image of the spirit. This means that there are men who infiltrate spirituality. And what do men do when they infiltrate spirituality? They use and abuse women. And what we've been seeing, and children and minorities, what we've seen over the last few years is that these people, these public figures, these pastors, these church people, these spiritual leaders have been called out for rape, for using their power of spirituality against people, against women and children, minorities, homosexuals, whatever they feel is beneath them. Because when men get a hold of spirituality, they have a very hard time not trying to dominate it. And what happens then is that the feminine is dominated. Anything that aligns with the spirit is dominated. That aligns with the number 2 is dominated by the number 1, because the number 1 can't stop itself. The masculine energy can't stop itself from wanting to dominate the woman. So you see, spirituality has to be owned by females. This is not being a crazy feminazi here. I'm going to let you know something, that this is the only way for the world to get better, is for females to own spirituality. Again, because it belongs to them, because women are the spirit, because they sit at the feet of God and they listen and they observe. Now, not every woman has been doing that, and that's what this has been about too. Instead of women turning to the spirit, they've been trying to be like men and chase down men and end up hurting women too. Women hurting other women with bad information, with being rude, with fighting each other, with serving the man and doing what the man wants. I'm not saying that all men are bad, and I'm not saying that all women are bad or that all women are good. What I'm saying is that aligning with masculine energy will cause you to be hurt in 2020. And that's where the new queen comes in. The new queen, the divine feminine, the true 2, the second in command is not the second in command. If you play chess, you will know that the queen can move across the board any way she wants to. It's the king who can't move. When the king is dead, the game is over. That's true. The king is the final kill. But the queen, she's the only one that matters on the chessboard. Why is that? Because she has the power to go anywhere. She is everything. She is the beginning, the middle, the end. She goes where God cannot, because she can fit everything. She's the only power that matters. And that's why men so badly want to be in charge of anything spiritual or religious, because they know the power it has and they want that power. 2020 is not allowing them to have that power. Now, if you want to know a little bit of more of the transits that are allowing this to happen, we have Uranus and Taurus, a reversal of fortune for the woman, for Venus. Okay, we have that Jupiter-Venus conjunction in Sagittarius at the end of November. On the galactic center, the womb of life. We have the Capricorn-Pluto-Saturn conjunction with Jupiter in Capricorn. This is all about rewarding those who work and sending bad karma to those who do not work. Capricorn naturally rules the midheaven, the 10th house. This is about our public persona. But you see, Capricorn is also very karmic. Capricorn lays down the law with Saturn as its ruler. Saturn is karma. It's time. It says, did you put in the work? Did you put in the time? So we look at this and we're like, this is going to reward our public image. Well, yeah, if it's deserving. If you did everything you needed to do. If you used that Cancer solar eclipse back in July 2019 to really get into your emotions and to get into that 4th house, which is your nadir in your chart, and to really work through your emotional issues and heal your wounds and get down to it so you're not a sensitive little person anymore, that you're a strong, powerful person, that you're using the good side of Cancer, which is not sensitivity, but which is extreme power of water, and you're utilizing that to get out into the world, you're going to find that this Capricorn, Saturn, Pluto conjunction is like, you did a good job. Come up here. Come rise. Everything's going to be okay for you now. Starting now. I want to reiterate that because I'm not saying that all of a sudden you don't have to work anymore or something. It's like, no, you're the one who's working, so now you're going to be rewarded. So keep going. Keep on it. This is for you now. This is your time. It's been a long time coming for people that follow this divine femininity. Men and women who honor their emotions, who honor their youth and honor their age and honor their ability to create. Who do not plow through women, who do not try to control women or minorities or anyone more in touch with the feminine side, who do not hurt them, bully them, try to put them in submission, tell them that they're too wild. Women are wild. Women want knowledge. That's the feminine side inside of all of us. Eve ate from the apple first, and she's not the one who felt ashamed. It was Adam. Because Adam represents the mind and Eve represents the emotions. The emotions can control knowledge. The mind is weak. It is knowledge that is power, but knowledge that you have to work for to deserve. That power can live within you, but it has to live low within you. It has to live in your whole entire body. If you try to keep it in your brain will explode. Our minds do not like that. They want to be happy. Ignorance is bliss. Adam would choose ignorance over eating the apple any day, but it wasn't for Eve. Eve wanted it because the emotions want it. It's time to honor our emotional nature because that is the true power. Because that is where the spirit lives, in our gut and in our intuition. It doesn't exist in our head. Keep your head clear to allow yourself to be free. But keep your body strong with strong boundaries. Just because we're dealing with our feelings doesn't mean that we have to attach to people like empaths. Empath sucks because you're consistently attaching to other people. This is about you and controlling your own power and your own boundaries and your own life. When Saturn moves into Aquarius, we can say that this new age of Aquarius is going to have a lot of complex karma. That will happen in March 21st, July 1st, and then it will go back into Capricorn. So we'll get a little taste of that in the beginning of the year, or in the springtime. And then we will have 3 lunar eclipses. 3. That means that there are going to be 3 cycles ending in 2020. 3. 1, 2, 3. Moon. This is the year of the feminine. There'll be a lot of bad communication. The best thing to do is to feel what you want to feel, because in May, the North Node is going to move into Gemini. It's spinning Cancer. We've been learning about our feelings, but now we're going to be learning the weight on our mind. And so at first, we are not going to be wanting to hear new knowledge. So that means you have to be strong within your feelings, strong within your body, and that will keep you alive. Otherwise, you will be irritated, aggravated, and anxious, and it will feel like a very strong Mercury retrograde all year. So you got to keep yourself low. The more you get outside of your body, the more you will lose yourself this year. This is not about trying to make things happen. This is about protecting yourself and your own personal energy and working hard on the things that you believe in and that you love. This year is going to require courage, bravery. But for those who've been working on themselves this past year and before, you will receive your reward for that. There will be judgment. And that is your full 2020 prediction.